Your family needs you, son.
On the next episode of Dutton Ranch.
Whole Jackson family's crooked. They ain't ranchers. They're thieves.
I need you ready for the hard parts when they come. Because they're coming.
Beth Dutton has spent her entire life choosing when to lose control. In episode 8, that choice gets taken away from her. The promo shows the exact second it happens, the moment her face shifts from shock into something far more dangerous. Rob Will has been waiting for this opening. Beulah's collapse just gave it to him. And by the end of this episode, the line between holding power and losing it at 10 Petal may disappear completely. Here is everything the promo just revealed.
For years, Beth Dutton has operated by a simple rule: control the room before the room controls you. That rule is the only reason she has survived everything Texas has thrown at her since she and Rip arrived. But the new promo for episode 8 shows a moment that breaks that rule completely, and it happens the second Beulah collapses in front of her. Longtime fans of Beth's character know exactly what that expression means. It is not panic. It is not even grief in the way most people experience grief. It is the look of someone watching the ground shift under a structure they thought was permanent. Beulah was never just an ally to Beth. She was the proof that someone in this world could be ruthless and still survive long enough to grow old. Watching her go down removes that proof in an instant, and the most likely explanation is that this moment does not slow Beth down. It accelerates her into something colder than fans have seen from her in this entire South Texas chapter. The title of this episode is not an accident. Whiskey Limits has always pointed toward Carter's spiral, but the deeper meaning is about Beth herself. Every person has a point where they stop measuring consequences and start reacting on instinct alone. The promo suggests Beth is standing right at that line, and Beulah's collapse is what pushes her over it. This matters because Beth has always been the most dangerous person in any room, specifically because she calculates. She plans her cruelty. She times it. A version of Beth who skips that calculation entirely is a version this fan base has never had to deal with for this long, and that is exactly what episode 8 appears to be building toward. While Beth is reaching her limit, Rob Will is not reacting to anything. He is executing. The promo gives away more about his timeline than fans may have noticed on a first watch. His posture around the ranch hands, his tone when addressing people who are not used to taking orders from him, the way he moves through 10 Petal like someone who already owns it. None of that comes from improvising during a crisis. That comes from a plan that has been sitting ready for a long time, waiting only for the right opening. Beulah collapsing is that opening. The most logical conclusion fans are reaching is that Rob Will has been positioning himself for this exact moment since long before the season even started, and Beulah's medical emergency is simply the trigger he needed, not the cause of his ambition. This is where Oriana becomes impossible to ignore. Standing beside Rob Will in the promo, her expression does not read as someone caught in the middle of a family crisis. It reads as someone watching a plan unfold exactly as expected. If that theory holds, then every interaction she has had with Carter this season needs to be reconsidered. The warmth, the sudden distance, the timing of every moment she pulled close and then pulled away. None of it may have been about Carter at all. It may have been about positioning someone inside the Dutton household who could report back on their weaknesses at the exact moment Rob Will needed that information most. And if that is true, the emotional damage to Carter is almost secondary to the strategic damage already done to Beth and Rip's position in Texas.
What makes this even more dangerous is the timing. Beth is not walking into this fight with a clear head. She is walking in already pushed past her limit by Beulah's collapse, already operating on instinct instead of calculation, at the exact moment Rob Will has chosen to make his move. A calculating Beth might have seen this coming. A Beth who has lost her composure may walk straight into exactly the trap Rob Will and Oriana appear to have built. The promo seems to be setting up a collision between Beth's emotional rating point and Rob Will's long-planned takeover, and the first few minutes of episode 8 may decide who controls 10 Petal by the time the credits roll. While the power struggle at 10 Petal dominates the surface of this episode, there is a quieter storyline running underneath it that deserves just as much attention, and it belongs entirely to Carter. His arc carries some of the most serious emotional danger for this family heading into the final stretch of the season, not because of what has already happened to him, but because of what he might do next. Every frame the promo gives him tells the same story without a single line of dialogue. Hunched shoulders, eyes that refuse to meet anyone else's. the body language of someone who feels like he is already being written out of this family before anyone has said a word to him. Carter has every right to be angry. He was manipulated, and manipulated by someone he trusted in a way that goes beyond an ordinary mistake. But anger does not protect him right now. Every outlet he seems to be reaching for, drinking, picking fights, pulling further into himself, only weakens the one thing the Dutton family cannot afford to lose right now, which is unity, at the exact moment Rob Will is hunting for cracks to exploit. What stands out most in the promo is not what Carter is doing, it is what he has stopped doing entirely. He is not asking Rip for help, and that breaks a pattern fans have watched all season. In every previous crisis, Carter has gone straight to Rip, because Rip has always been the steady ground beneath him. This time, he is staying silent, and the most likely explanation is that this humiliation feels different to him. He is not just embarrassed that Oriana used him, he is embarrassed in front of the one person whose respect he has spent this entire season trying to earn. That kind of silence is dangerous, because a Carter who isolates himself becomes a Carter that Rob Will can find and use without the family even realizing the door has been opened. If Carter keeps pulling away, while Rob Will keeps actively searching for leverage inside the Dutton household, the two paths are heading toward the same collision point, and it may not end with words. This local crisis does not exist in isolation either. It connects to something much larger happening across the rest of this expanding story universe. Marshals, the parallel series following Casey Dutton, has been building forward in tandem with everything happening at Ten Petal. Casey has spent his side of the story rebuilding legitimacy through law enforcement, working inside the system instead of around it, while Beth has been rebuilding territory in Texas through sheer force and intimidation. These are two completely different methods aimed at the same goal, protecting what is left of this family standing, and the people behind this universe have already confirmed that crossover characters are coming. The pressure building at Ten Petal in this episode creates exactly the kind of crisis that could justify Beth finally reaching out to her own brother, a sitting United States Marshal, for help she has refused to ask for all season. If Rob Will's claim to Ten Petal touches anything federal, water rights, land disputes, or crimes with paperwork attached to them, Beth may not be fighting this war completely alone for much longer. All three threads, Beulah's secrets, Rob Will's long-planned takeover, and Carter's emotional collapse, appear to be converging on the same moment in this episode, and that timing does not feel accidental. A family can usually absorb one crisis at a time. It is much harder to survive three of them landing together, especially when one of those crises involves the matriarch who held the entire structure of Ten Petal in place. The real question heading into Friday is not whether this family gets tested. The promo already answers that. The real question is which one of these three pressures, the medical, the political, or the personal, finally becomes the one this family cannot recover from.